Well, first of all, meeting with the five members of the Rada, the parliament from Ukraine, all five of them moms. Unfortunately for them, husbands and dads are back fighting, and they were here fighting for their country with their legislative prowess. They were unified in their message, and they were unanimous in their volume. They need help. They need lots of help, and they need it now. In fact, yesterday would have been better. The specific help that they were asking for, they were unanimous, first of all, in wanting fighter jets. And I know that's been a big topic for all of us. It's somewhat controversial for various reasons, but they want them. They believe that it's a game changer. It allows them to protect the skies more adequately. But then second to that was more advanced artillery systems, weapon systems, particularly systems that are surface to air, that have an air defense component, obviously, but not just the Stingers, which we're very familiar with, because Stingers are weapon systems for low-level, low-flying missiles. In other words, the missiles have to be close to you before you can stop them. They need medium-range and long-range missile defense systems, and they were asking for those. They were also asking for stricter sanctions. As you probably know, they have 333 banks in Ukraine. We have put sanctions on a grand total between SWIFT and the other sanctions, a grand total of 13 of the banks. Of course, it includes the top 10 banks, makes up about 80% of the balance sheet. So it does hit the big banks that do most of the international banking, which obviously has ramifications. The problem is, as long as there are 320 banks standing, their concern is that some of that finances and the authority and the wherewithal really to do business on the international stage can be transferred to those smaller banks. The thing that they remind us of is that in Russia, the Kremlin makes one call and regulations are no longer a problem. That is not a luxury places like the United States and Ukraine have. So they were adamant, they were unified, they were strong, and they have a sense of urgency about them. One of the members of parliament said to us, freedom must be armed. Freedom must be armed. They're working hard to of course, strengthen the emotional ties with the United States as well as the intellectual ties. And she said, be brave, be courageous, and be fast. Be brave, be courageous, and be fast. That's their admonition to us as the United States. I think we are courageous, I think we are brave, but we're not very fast. And that's been a problem in terms of getting these more advanced weapons systems to them. They're told they're on their way, they're told they've been promised. A lot of times they don't show up for weeks, and they no longer have weeks. Later in the day, after this Ukrainian caucus with Ukrainian members of parliament, I did participate in a classified briefing as well on Ukraine with members of the State Department, obviously the Defense Department, the intelligence community, Treasury, because of course sanctions are an important tool and an important weapon in this war. So we were able to get an update on exactly where some of the weapon systems are, how close they are to getting to the Ukrainians, what the opportunities are as Russia withdraws from the Kyiv area and repositions their troops in other areas, what opportunities there are to exploit that, what exactly is happening. The fear that I have, and I think a lot of people have, is that Vladimir Putin has the luxury of time. So if they wait long enough, they worry that the Ukrainians are worried that they're going to run out of these systems that they need, and that eventually they just get overwhelmed by Russia. So I think for a lot of the Ukrainians, they see the United States as sort of slowing down defeat as opposed to arming them for victory. They are in a position to be victorious, and we need to take that very same posture as an ally and leaders of the free world. And I think we are. I think there's a shift that has been made and has been taken, and we need to step up in a big way.